The sun burned dimly over Hastinapura, as the Kurukshetra war loomed like a storm on the edge of the kingdom. In the quiet halls of the palace, Gandhari sat in darkness, still blindfolded, as she had been since the day she married Dhritarashtra. Decades of self-imposed blindness had made her spiritually powerful. Through her austerity, she had gathered an energy few could understand. As war approached and Duryodhana prepared to ride to the battlefield, Gandhari's heart overflowed with fear and maternal desperation. She knew her son's path was forged in pride and ambition, and the end could only be death. But she also knew she possessed the power to give him a shield, one final gift. She called for Duryodhana and told him to come to her alone and without any clothes. She would finally remove her blindfold, and her eyes, charged with divine strength, would bless his body, turning it as hard as iron, impenetrable to any weapon. Duryodhana, though surprised, obeyed and left his chambers. His body was that of a warrior, his confidence unshaken. But as he walked through the corridor toward his mother's room, he encountered Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna, ever the master of subtlety and destiny, stopped him. He looked at the prince and, in his usual gentle yet probing tone, asked if it is appropriate for a prince, especially one raised in dignity, to stand naked even before his own mother. Duryodhana hesitated. He was proud, yes, but not without shame. Modesty, drilled into him since youth, stirred within. Lord Krishna's words took root. After a pause, Duryodhana wrapped a simple cloth around his waist, covering his thighs and hips. It was a small choice, almost instinctive, but it would change the course of history. He entered his mother's chamber. For the first time in her life, Gandhari removed her blindfold. Her eyes opened slowly, radiant and terrible with the force of her lifelong penance. Her gaze swept over her son, bathing him in divine energy. Wherever her sight fell, Duryodhana's flesh hardened like armor. His chest, arms, legs, all became invulnerable. And then she saw it. The cloth. The fabric shielded the lower part of his body from her gaze. Her blessing, powerful as it was, could not penetrate the material. The thighs, the hips, they remained untouched, vulnerable. She was silent. Perhaps she understood. Perhaps she even knew who had influenced his decision. Gandhari lowered her eyes and tied the blindfold again. Her son had received his protection, but only in part, and that part would prove to be his undoing. Days later, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the final duel took place. Duryodhana faced Bhima, his lifelong rival, in a brutal mace fight. The battle raged like a storm. Duryodhana fought fiercely, his newly armored body shrugging off even the deadliest blows. But Lord Krishna stood watching. He saw what others could not, the one flaw in the armor. At a crucial moment, Lord Krishna gave a subtle signal to Bhima, tapping his own thigh. Bhima understood. With one earth-shaking swing of his mace, Bhima struck Duryodhana below the waist, crushing his thighs, the only part of his body not protected by Gandhari's blessing. Duryodhana collapsed, defeated, not by strength, but by a moment of modesty and a god's quiet nudge. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Mythology Medley. Click the bell icon for more such amazing mythological content.